What's a deacon? What is a deacon? What is a deacon? Who is this lesser-known clergyman? Who is this man that stands by the priest, but also stands by the laity at the same time? Who is this man that assists at the altar, but also has a job to earn money to pay his bills? It's a deacon. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Deacon Tom Michaud, and welcome back to A Deacon's Life. Today we'll be talking about what is a deacon. This one, for some odd reason, is giving me trouble. I'll be reading things, you'll be seeing that instead of looking at the camera, but I want to make sure that I get it right. So first I'd like to start off by saying I've heard a deacon explained many different ways, but two really stick out to me. The first is, picture a deacon standing on a bridge. On one side of the bridge is the church, and on the other side of the bridge is the rest of the world. In one hand, the deacon is holding a Bible, and in the other hand, he's holding a newspaper. This man brings the church to those he meets in this world, and to those he meets in the world, he brings to the church. This is a man that lives in the world, but is not of the world. The second one really sticks out to me because I was in the military for 4 years. So in the military, as you know, you have the officers, you have the generals, commanders, lieutenants, but you also have this elite force, the special ops. And it's these men that get dropped behind enemy lines, that do so many things, but you really never hear about it. They blend into their surroundings and do so much behind the scenes. And they do it without looking for recognition. A deacon is a man called by God to serve the church. And these men come from all walks of life with many different gifts. They are tradesmen, business owners, computer programmers, doctors, lawyers, and some are even retired. A deacon is a man willing to give his life away. Most of the information today I'll be getting from the National Directory. National Directory for the Formation, Ministry, and Life of Permanent Deacons in the United States. And when I use the word deacon in this video, I'm referring to permanent deacons. One who is not going to be a priest. The permanent diaconate in the Western Church almost totally disappeared for a millennium. And as the National Directory says, one of the greatest legacies of Second Vatican Council was the renewal and the encouragement of the order of deacons throughout the entire Catholic Church. So let's start with this. What is a deacon not? A deacon is not a priest, or a priest wannabe, or a future priest, okay? Got it? Deacon is not a priest. So now we need to have a little Greek lesson here, and let's get that out of the way. The word deacon is derived from a Greek word diakonia, service. And diakonos, various translated as servant, attendant, helper, minister, or put another way, one who serves. We are to imitate Jesus Christ. He came to serve, not to be served. A deacon is clergy, one who's ordained by the bishop. A deacon is one who needs to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And how does one get that? Through prayer. A deacon prays with the church and liturgy of the hours, morning and evening prayer, but it doesn't end there. A deacon needs to study scripture, maybe do Lectio Divina, go to Mass more than just on Sunday. And I know others, would argue that deacons should go to daily Mass or as much as possible. And I say this because the deacon service begins at the altar and returns there. And in fact, Bishop Cousins, in his homily at a deacon ordination, said this, and I'm going to read it. Only exceptional reasons should keep you from serving at the altar at daily Mass. And then he reminded those gathered and those that were just ordained, the first 7 men ordained in the Acts of the Apostles were selected to serve at the table. And St. John Paul II said, a deeply felt need in the decision to reestablish the permanent diaconate was and is that of a greater and more direct presence of church ministers in the various spheres of the family, work, school, in addition to the existing pastoral structures. Deacons, both married and celibate, serve God's people by their witness to the gospel value of sacrificial love, a quality of life too easily dismissed in today's society. And St. John Paul also said, the deacon's ministry is the church's service sacramentalized, so that the very heart of the diaconate is to be a servant of the mysteries of church and at the same time to be a servant of your brothers and sisters. The ministry of the diaconate is a visible, grace-filled sign of the integral connection between sharing of the Lord's Eucharistic table and serving the many hungers felt so keenly by all God's children. In a world hungry and thirsty for a convincing sign for the compassion and liberating love of God, the deacon sacramentalizes the mission of the church in his words, actions, and deeds, responding to God's commandment to serve and to provide real-life examples of how to carry it out. Over the years, I've given a number of talks. It could have been to teens at Extreme Faith Camp. It could have been to our youth groups, to adults that asked me to speak. And one thing that usually comes up is that of people are so sick of being told what to do and not do. What they're screaming for is someone just to show them what it means to live a Christ-filled life, to live a servant's life, to put others before yourself, to make huge sacrifices. And it's just not the deacon who makes those sacrifices. If the deacon is married, their family is also making that sacrifice to allow their husband, their father, to go out and do God's will, to show love and compassion to those around him, not just while wearing a collar, but when at work, showing compassion. We can't just say, at this moment I'm a deacon, and at this moment I am not. Once you're ordained, you're ordained. You have that mark in your soul that will not go away. So wherever you go, you're bringing Christ with you. You're bringing your ordination with you. You are to be the example of what love and sacrifice looks like. So when people see you, they don't really see you, if that makes any sense at all. Instead, they should be seeing Christ. Bishop Cousins said this in his homily as well to those men that were being ordained. The purpose of this ordination is to allow you to give your life as a ransom for the church, to allow your life to be taken by God and used as he desires. So what is a deacon? A deacon is all of that and much more. And we can't do any of that without allowing God to do it in us. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Keep praying and keep serving.
I apologize for the lighting.